Is that doing it? Oh, it is. Huh. Okay. I can't decide if I like that light on back there. New. Allow viewers to request something. It went off so fast I couldn't even read it. Okay. Yeah. I can't decide if I like that light on back there or not. So you guys are going to have to let me know if you like it or not. I don't know. One of these days I'll figure it out. So, hello. Stop! She does it every single freaking time. She's so dumb. Go lay down. I'm Tasha, your Simple Solutions Specialist, and we are live from the Smoky Mountain Homestead. And, what, oh, friend. I'm sorry, I have to get rid of these, otherwise I can't see. See? It's kind of funky monkey, don't you think? I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So, Alan and Darren are actually home right now, so it would have been nice to have Alan up here. But he is downstairs in the basement, which is basically I've got a spot on my glasses. Basically a big giant dugout gopher hole. But he made these really cool workbenches and stuff down there. So I guess he is drawing a ruler onto the workbench, because he said if he actually attached one to it, then when he went to move things around, it would like get bump on the ruler and blah blah and all that. So I'm like, fine, whatever, man, do whatever you're gonna do. So maybe if he pops up here later, we can get him to join us if we get lucky. Otherwise, you'll just have to deal with me. Okay, yeah. So what have we got this week? Oh, I wanted to tell you about this was probably a month ago. I signed up on this thing called Unroll Me, unrollme.com, I think it is. And because I was going through my emails, and I had so many like subscriptions that I had, email subscriptions that I had signed up for that I never read. I don't have time. I'm very curious, and I would love to have the time to sit there and read it all, but then I'd never get anything else done. So you sign up on this Unroll Me, and it's free. And okay, this is kind of the funny part. So I think it's like once a week or once every 2 weeks or whatever, it emails you, but it tells you like how many new subscriptions keep popping up in your email, and you can go through the list and just unsubscribe without having to go to every single website and unsubscribe, and that would be a pain in the neck. So that's my big purge. I've been going through my email, trying to get rid of stuff. Just to make it more streamlined. It's just too hard to like sift through all those emails trying to find the one email that I need to find. So I did that. So yeah, it's unrollme.com. I think it's .com. I bet if you just Googled Unroll Me or something, it would pop up. Yeah, but that thing is cool. And I didn't realize like how many really, because like you'll sign up just for something to get the free ebook or whatever, and then you forget to go back and unsubscribe. So then you've got, all this, these emails that are just sitting there. And then, eventually you go through, I've still got some tabs that are like my social tabs and stuff I've got to go through. And you're just like deleting entire pages of emails that you haven't even looked at. I also did the same thing on my Google Plus account. I never use that. And I know there's really good stuff on there, but I never use it. And I probably should go and look at it. But I actually went on there and, left a bunch of groups and unfollowed things. And I'm still getting that little Google Plus notices, which is such a pain in the neck. But so I might just go on there and just unfollow and leave all the groups and whatever, and just go on there and pick and choose what I want to look at when I get on there. And I think I've been on Google Plus maybe 10 times, maybe 15. Let's be generous. Yeah, I just don't use it. And I know a lot of people do. So if you know the joys and wonders of Google Plus, please enlighten me, because it doesn't seem to do anything that like Pinterest doesn't do, or any of the other social media platforms. So anyways, that's that. That was my big purge thing that I did this last week. And I've still got more to do. There's still a lot in there. One of my tabs, because I have 2 email accounts. And one of them, there's like 2,000 and something, I think it's on that social tab, that I need to just get rid of. But I want to go through them, you know, because what if there's something I want to look at? Yeah, it's a dilemma, you know. Cheers. All right. All right. So, today I am making, so it's been really dry here, even with this, like, you would think in winter equals wet, would equal lovely, luscious, soft lips. But nay, it does not, I say to you. My daughter, my oldest daughter, Katana, she used to go, she loved, like, when women were wearing lipstick and lip gloss, and she'd go, ooh, I like your yips. I like your yips. I'm like, oh my God, she's like a creeper with the lip thing. So I don't use exfoliant, lip exfoliant in the summer at all, because I guess it's just more moisty here in the summer. But, oh, that's kind of nasty. So when we moved in here, the people that used to live here left all kinds of stuff here. I mean, like this, for those of you who've been here, the pantry used to be a half bath, and they didn't, Alan tore the bathroom part out of it though and made it into a walk-in pantry, which is so much more useful for us, except for when the guys were in the bathroom. But I went in there and they didn't even clean out the medicine cabinet. There was stuff all in there, stuff all underneath the sink. It's like they like partially moved out. It was really weird. So anyways, in there I found, it's basically just Vaseline, petroleum jelly. And yes, I know it's a petroleum product, and yes, it comes in plastic, but it was here, and I'm certainly not going to throw it away just because it's not something I would normally use. I'll go ahead and use it up. But when that's gone, because I haven't used Vaseline or petroleum jelly in forever, there's a bunch of other stuff you can use in this. You can use, so you can use oils instead of like something thick like this, but just know that you'll need to add, the consistency will be, you'll have to work with it, because obviously an oil is different than a solid. Science lesson for today, huh? But you could use castor oil. I wrote these down. Shea butter, coconut oil maybe, because some people have, coconut oil can be very drying to their skin. It's not to mine, not typically, so I don't have a problem using it, but I know some people do, so that would be your call. Apricot kernel seed oil, mango seed butter, sweet almond oil, sunflower seed oil, and sesame seed oil. So you could use any of those and it would still work. So the way I do this, you guys are gonna go, oh my God, it's so easy. It's so, see, it's so simple. We like that. All right, got my little jar, little tiny jar. It's cute. I like these ones with a little quilted pattern on the side. So I'm gonna get a big old glob of this stuff. So, because I want to make enough where it's going to last me. And it'll be fine. Like if I don't use it all this winter, it'll just sit there and wait for me until next winter. Not a big deal. Oh, this stuff is so nasty. It's just very like thick snot-like, you know? Nobody wants that. All right. I'll be glad to get rid of this stuff though. So there's a bunch. I might actually just use, well, no, I'll do one more. Okay, so I put in, what is this? This is like a half, is it a pint? This has got to be like a quarter of a pint. It's like a little itty bitty jar. But I like filled it about halfway. So, oops, wrong lid. And then all I'm adding is, you guys got to see this. This was my grandmother's sugar jar that she used to use. Hi, Sonia. This is my grandma's. So this is what we put our sugar in. Sugar. And then I just add, so you got to kind of eyeball it, and that like put in a scoop or two or whatever, and then stir it up and check it and check your, hey Nikki, check your consistency. So I'm Just using a knife, stirring that up. That needs more, because what you want it to be is like gritty, so that when you use it, it exfoliates. So you kind of need, this is just plain old white sugar. I wouldn't use anything like super expensive, because all you're basically going to do is, you know, wipe it off and get rid of it. So it's not like you want to use your, you know, sugar made from the souls of, you know, virgin sacrifices or something like that. So, yeah, ooh, it touched me. Okay, that looks pretty good. I think I'm going to add a little bit more sugar. Yeah, so I took Darian. We're getting all his paperwork. Ew, that stuff's on me. Hang on. He's getting all set. He's going to be starting college. If we can get all of his stuff done and ready to go, his transcripts and everything, he's going to be starting college classes in the fall. It's going to be weird. So all three of us will be in school at the same time. So that should make for very interesting conversations around here, right? It's going to be weird. Not that it's not already weird, because, you know, it is a Childers house. So that kind of just goes with the territory, I suppose. I am getting this crap all the heck over the place. Okay, there we go. It's all kind of gritty, and it's gritty, baby. It's like, it makes it super thick and kind of hard to stir, but that's what you want. It's like, I don't know if you can see the consistency. We like our virgin alive and kicking. Yep, that's the way we like them. And then I like to add wild orange oil, just because the taste, because you will get it in your mouth and you're like, oh, that's like caca. Nobody wants that. So I just add 1, 2, 3. I do like 5 or 6 drops, give or take. But you can use, I wouldn't use anything that was gonna like annoy your lips. Okay, I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm a great example of what not to do with your essential oils. So I have this girlfriend, Sonia, you know Felicia, right? Ooh, that smells delicious. She is a cosmetologist person thingy. Not like, but she does like facials and thingies like that. She's amazing. She is amazing. Shout out to her. She had gone to a trade show or something like that, and she picked up a whole bunch of those, like the lip plumper stick things. And she gave me a couple. She goes, "You want some?" And I'm like, because they were just samples. And I'm like, "Sure, I'll try one." One day I try one, and I'm like, "What the heck?" I'm like, "That's just cinnamon." I'm like, "I've got cinnamon oil. I wouldn't even need to buy this. I've got cinnamon oil." So honestly, I went and we were at a friend's house one night, and I had taken my oils with me, and I'm like, oh, and I was telling them the story about the lip plumper, and I'm like, let's try it. So I went, all I did was just touch the top of the thing like this. Like, I didn't even turn it over to use the whole thing. And I rubbed it on my lips thinking, oh, it'll get all, you know, cute and plumpy and all, you know, look like, hey, baby, come kiss me. And it was fine, and not like nothing happened really. It was a little bit tingly or nothing, but we ended up going home. The next morning, I wake up, and I was supposed to be going and leading a meditation that morning. And I wake up and I go into the bathroom and I look in the mirror, and you guys, my lips were like the hippie girl from the Muppets. You know, the hippie girl, like those huge lips. That's what my lips look like. I was like, hey, bud, how you be doing? I was like, whoa, what the heck? I'm like, what is going on? So I go to the bathroom, and I go and I wake up Alan, and I'm like, baby, look at my lips. But they didn't feel weird. They didn't feel like they were swollen or anything. And he turns around, he looks at me, he goes, whoa. I'm like, don't say whoa. Fix it. He's like, what'd you do? So yeah, don't put cinnamon oil, straight cinnamon essential oil on your lips. Unless you do want to look like the Muppets hippie girl. So yeah, that was one of my realizations of what not to do with your oils. So that was, yeah, I'll have to tell you some other stories later on. Okay, so this is done. That was it. So in this case, I use the petroleum jelly. Normally I wouldn't. I would probably use something like shea butter. But because the people that lived here before left it here, I kept it. Yeah, so there's that, the sugar, and essential oil. You don't have to put the essential oil in if you don't want to, but I think you'll like the taste better. I mean, it's not like you're going to eat this for a snack and put it on a damn sandwich, but that's how it goes. And so I filled this up about halfway with the petroleum jelly, because if you put too much in, the volume gets a lot bigger because of the sugar. So, and now it's full. So that'll last me, I mean, it'd have to get pretty dang dry here for this to not last me for the rest of the winter. So, and that was like, how much would that probably cost? Even if you use shea butter, which is more expensive, it's still going to cost you less than a couple bucks to make this. And if you were to go out and buy this, not only would you have to keep purchasing it over and over again, which is ridiculous, but hi, Chastity. But you can keep reusing these jars, and you don't have to use a canning jar. I just use this one because I have some other ones, but they're like cardboard on the inside, and I wanted something that was more like moisture resistant, you know. So there is that, and there was, y'all, it's hot in here. Maybe I just need a drink of wine. That's got to be it, right? All right. So, oh my God, Chula, I swear to God, we're going to have dog kebabs one night for dinner. So, what else did I want to tell you? I did that. Okay, so we get goat milk from one of our friends here. I've been trading him eggs for it. So, he came to a breakfast that we went to this last weekend, and I'll show you, this is how we get it, which is really cool because I just give him back the jars, and then we just trade jars. So there's never any, see, goat milk. So we have another jar in there, it's almost gone though, but, so Darian went to have a glass of milk this morning, and he's like, this tastes weird, and yeah, it was starting to spoil a little bit. So, you know me, I don't want to waste anything. So now I've got this half gallon of milk here, and it's raw milk. It's not like pasteurized and have anything weird done to it. So I'm certainly not going to let it go to waste. So keep in mind that you can, I'm going to clabber it. So, which is basically, clabbering milk is done with raw milk. You can do cow milk, goat milk. You could probably do it with any kind of milk, I would imagine. And what you're basically doing is separating the whey from the rest of the milk. So, and that's what, like for this, I'll probably just, if I wanted to clabber it, you can make a list of stuff you'd need: the shea butter and lots of stuff at one time, so you don't feel like you're wasting cash. Yeah, well, we buy like sugar. I buy that like 50 pounds at a time, which makes it incredibly inexpensive. Because that's the kind of sugar that Alan likes in his coffee. So I'm not even going to moan and bitch about it. So whatever. Yeah, when you buy things in big bulk, you can get, generally, if you're buying them, if you watch where you're buying stuff from, you can get really good, a really good deal. And even if you don't have the storage space for something like that, you can always go in with somebody else on, so say, hey, you want to go in on a 50 pounds of sugar or whatever. And, you know, if you don't use a lot of it, it'll last you forever. Well, not forever, obviously, but pretty close. So when your milk spoils, you can't do this with store-bought milk because the heating of the milk and the processing, the reason they do it, they say, is because it makes it safer to drink, and because they keep it on the shelf for a lot longer. They're right. Because you really don't know when that milk has been milked, when that cow was milked, or the goat, or you know, where the processing. I'm wah. So anyways, so this is done with raw, fresh milk. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to use it like I would buttermilk. But if you clabber it, you can do things like you can make whey. So your whey, you separate the whey, and then the other stuff, you drain it through a cloth. Your whey is in the bottom. You pick up your cloth, and tie it with a string and to a wooden spoon or something over a bowl to catch the rest of the way. And when it stops dripping, you open it up and you've got cheese. Yummy, yummy. That's it. It's kind of like a farmer's cheese without using a culture kind of thing, because you're already making the culture. The culture's already working in the jar. And the thing so the thing with raw milk, when it goes bad, it's not going bad. It's just changing. You can still use it. You can't do that with store-bought milk, with pasteurized milk, because it basically, when it goes bad, it's basically just putrefying. And that is, yeah. So raw milk, when it sours, should have a kind of a pleasant sour smell rather than something that's going to make you want to barf. And do an experiment. Get some raw milk and leave it, and then get some store-bought milk and put them side by side. And when they start to spoil, you'll smell the difference, because it's just really nasty. Oh, I wanted to tell you. I was going to say something. Oh, so raw milk, when you clabber it and you use it with baking soda. I gotta open this door. Sorry, I'm sweating like a mofo. Here I am sweating, and it snowed last night. Because clabbered milk is very acidic, when you use it with baking soda, it acts. So what it does, you use those together, and you get like really fluffy pancakes and waffles and things like that. That's with baking soda. And so that's what people used to use before someone invented baking powder. And, little food history thing. My feet are hot. So that's how people would use clabbered milk, because of course nothing ever went to waste. And then, but then once somebody invented baking powder, people didn't use the clabbered milk as much. So I can't remember the name of the company, but there's a company that chose to name their baking powder Clabber Girl baking powder, because that kind of told people how to use the baking powder, because it was a new product. So now baking powder, because most of the time you're like, okay, it's just baking powder. We think it's like its own thing, like baking soda is sodium bicarbonate. But nay, it is not. It is made of, so it has a base, an acid, and a filler. So it's baking soda, let me think, baking soda, cream of tartar, and cornstarch. You could use arrowroot powder too for that, because it's going to be hard to find a cornstarch that isn't GMO. But yeah, so you actually don't have to buy baking powder. You can make your own, and you can find the like proportions of each one. Just Google it, super easy. Yeah, so a little history lesson for the day. So yeah, baking powder is a relatively, in the history of food, it's a relatively new product. So if things went south and you had those 3 ingredients, but you didn't have baking powder, it wouldn't matter. Or you could just clabber your milk and use baking soda, and then use that as your, it's not yeast, but makes things puffy. So when you think about it, like when you have baking powder biscuits, that's what they're doing, is they're giving you something that's going to puff things up. But if you use the clabbered milk along with your baking soda, it's going to do the same thing. Can you imagine if you use baking powder and the clabbered milk with baking soda? You'd have biscuits this high. That's a big biscuit. Yeah, so I think I'm going to use this just like I would buttermilk, though, because we do a lot of buttermilk stuff. We like buttermilk biscuits. We like waffles, pancakes, cornbread. Alan loves buttermilk pie. He loves it. It's like a custard pie. Super, super, super easy to make. And when I make butter and I have the buttermilk left over, a lot of times I'll make buttermilk pie. But it's like, it's not something you want to live on, because it's certainly not low fat or healthy. You're using good, real ingredients, but that's not, like, I wouldn't suggest eating a piece for breakfast. But he loves it. Yeah, biscuits. I love my biscuit recipe. It is so good. And then one time we were down at Alan's mom's house and I was making biscuits and I accidentally added in an extra tablespoon, I think it was, of baking powder. And the things were gigantic. They were so big. So now when I make them, I just add, gotta try. Yeah, you know what? If you go to my Smoky Mountain Homestead page under the notes, I think the recipe is there. Either that or I'll make a note to myself to post it on my blog. Buttermilk pie. That's like something that, I mean, that people would have eaten more of in like the spring and the summer, because that's when they would have more, the milk from the fat layer from the milk would be more and thicker and denser, so you'd have more buttermilk. You'd be making more butter, so you'd have more buttermilk. It's definitely, it's kind of like asparagus is a springtime vegetable. It's kind of like a spring and summer dessert kind of thing. But now that you can get buttermilk anytime, you know, which is kind of weird, you know, we've lost the sensibility to eat seasonally. So, but you know, we're going to be putting in the very first of our garden finally this spring. So eventually we'll be trying to eat seasonally as much as possible. So, yeah, so we did that. Oh, my preppy tip. So this week what we're working on is, oh, that thing is heavy. Alan is going to do a kind of blueprint for our house, kind of like this one. That's somebody else's house, obviously, but like this, and it's the legend over on the side is all the important things that everybody in the house needs to know where they are. So, so electrical switch box, gas shutoff valve, basement or attic entrance, alarm box. And this is in case something else happens and somebody comes into the house and there's an emergency or something, they know where things are. Yeah, this is a great idea. And so we're probably just going to post it somewhere, probably like on the inside of the pantry door or something like that, and then like some of the things, I'm sure, you know, you might know where the things are, but do you know how to like turn them off or turn them on? Or oh my gosh, when we were in San Diego, I was cooking bacon or something like that, and frickin' smoke alarm kept going off, pissing me off, like every single time. And so I finally got sick of it, and I got up there with the scissors, like I'm so stupid. Got up on the ladder, got the scissors, pulled that thing down and cut the wires. I didn't even turn off the electricity to it. I could have like electrocuted myself. I was lucky that I was using the right scissors, that they had like an insulated handle kind of thing on there. And boy, it went spark, 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 you know, and poor Darian, his eyeballs are like this big around. I'm like, oh my God, but turned it off, that's for sure. Because I kept trying, I took the battery out, I did everything I could, and I could not. And so when Alan got home, I showed him, and there's actually like let me see if I can find the scissors. Are they over here? Is it these ones? No, I don't know. But like the scissor part, there's a big dent in it where it like melted the metal. I'm like, Alan was so mad at me that I did that. He was like, you didn't even turn off. Yeah, remember that? I was so mad. He comes home and he's like, why is the smoke alarm on the table? And Darian's like, don't ask, Mama's mad, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and so I told him, and he looked at the scissors. He was not happy with me. What time is it? Oh, we're almost done. Yeah, so this is our project for the week. We're going to be doing that, so everybody is going to be well-versed on where everything is and how to turn everything on, how to turn everything off. The other thing I wanted to show you that everybody should have, just in case, we have a, this is my little binder, my binder. So everything that pertains to me is in this folder, in this little sleeve here. So IDs, credit card copies, things like that. This one is all of the birth certificates. This one is shot records for everybody. There's a thing for Darian there. His school stuff, that stuff. Copies of our divorce decrees. you just never know when you're going to need those. What the hell is that? Oh, insurance, life insurance copies. So trying to keep everything in one spot. And then if something happens to Alan and I, Darian knows where this folder is. He can go and get it, and he can have all the information he needs. You know, just because you don't want to have something happen and then. So we have our information in several different places, so that if the house caught on fire, this would be gone. You know, but we do have a safe, and we have stuff on a flash drive. So, you know, we probably grab our computers if there was time, but you just never know. So, stop that. So I'll put a copy of that map in here, and then I'll probably post one on the back of on the inside of the pantry door. And then, yeah, so that's our goal for this week. Trying to get everything, trying to make life, you know, at the beginning, you got to do a little bit of work, but in the end, it makes things so much easier, you know? So that's what I've got for tonight. If you're watching this on YouTube, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button. And let's see, you can find me all over the place. I'm on Pinterest and under a couple different names. It's either Simple Solution Specialist, my name, or Smoky Mountain Homestead. So go ahead and feel free to follow me or message me or blah, 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 and I will find that recipe for the buttermilk pie, and I will post that. I have a feeling it's probably already on my Smoky Mountain Homestead page. Would you shut your lips? So, yeah, so there is that, and I think that's all I had. Let me look at my list really quick. I know, I hate keeping you guys late. Yep, that's it. Oh, and there will be no live feed next week because Darian has Scouts Court of Honor. So we'll skip that next week, but then I'll be back the following week. Or maybe I'll do one on a different night or something like that if I can get it doing. So that is it. It was nice to see you guys. Peace out. Be the change.